So Regional San and Sacramento Area Sewer District are two sanitation districts that serve the greater Sacramento region. Sacramento Area Sewer District collects sewage from homes and businesses for about 1 million people, probably close to 1.2 million people, and delivers their sewage to Regional San for treatment and processing and disposal of the wastewater. So that's how they work together. Regional San is, if you will, is considered a wholesaler, whereas the Sacramento Area Sewer District is more of a retailer touching the customer. Besides the Sacramento Area Sewer District, there's also 3 other contributing agencies that bring sewage to Regional San: City of Sacramento, City of Folsom, and City of West Sacramento, but they're much smaller. So Regional San, for example, serves roughly 1.6 million people, whereas the SASD brings sewage from about 1.2 million of the 1.6 million that Regional San serves. What people may not know about Regional San and SASD is that they're very large sanitation districts. For example, SASD is the second largest collection agency in California. And Regional San by itself is the 3rd largest sanitation district behind LA San and Orange County San District. So together, they're the 2nd largest in the state, and they serve about 400 square miles of this region. So it's a huge service area, and very few sanitation districts, if any, in California that's had that kind of service area. As a matter of fact, last week, people asked me, what would it take to build this facility? Because I was giving a tour to about 20 people last weekend. I had to guess, so this facility, if you were to rebuild, including the large pipes, probably about $10 billion, between 5 and 10 billion. And then on top of it, you look at the collection system, which consists of roughly 4,000 miles of pipe on the SASD side, 66,000 manholes, and 100 plus pump stations. They add that to Regional San side, about 11 large pump stations and the wastewater treatment plant and all the large pipes. My guess would be between 10 and $20 billion of infrastructure that both of these districts manage. That's something that people find very surprising, to know that these are large sanitation districts. So I started here 25 plus years ago. The vision and mission of the districts have changed during that period. For example, our mission used to be very focused. It's on the SASD side, our job is to collect sewage, bring it and deliver it to Regional San. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. In Regional San, our job is to treat it and dispose of it in a responsible way. That's how it was. But missions have evolved over time, sensing based on the needs of the community. For example, Regional San, now we recycle a lot of things. That wasn't the case 25 years ago when it started. We weren't recycling our biosolids. We weren't generating methane to produce electricity at the time. We weren't recycling our water. And we weren't using solar energy either. So a lot of things have changed in terms of how we do it. What else we do it. That's one of the things that I like to talk about, is how wastewater agencies have come to be more of a place where people go to for resources as opposed to just dispose of the wastewater. That's how they have evolved. Now, the vision, I talked about the mission. The vision is how you do it. How you accomplish your mission is how, what your vision would look like. It used to be a lot more inward focusing vision. Over time, we have become more outward focusing vision. More environmentally friendly vision is how we have evolved in the last 25 years. What I mean is, we used to work hard to keep ourselves unknown to people that we serve 25 years ago. Now, we work very hard to make ourselves known to people that we serve so that they understand the valuable service that we provide and what they can expect from us in exchange for what they pay us. So that's a huge difference in how we changed over time. And likewise, I mentioned the environmental stewardship in the way that we now do things are much better than the way we were doing 25 years ago. That's kind of a summation of how we've changed over time. So as a matter of fact, when I was giving a tour this last weekend, one of my family friends, she asked, what am I getting for the money that I paid? Which is a question that we should be able to answer all the time. So what you're getting is a very safe removal of wastewater from your home where it's not causing you any health problems. We take that water away from you and clean it and convert them into valuable resources and make it reusable so that you can depend on those resources when you use them, reuse them. So all of that within the money that you've given us. So at the surface, you don't see that unless you connect the dots for them. So I'm very happy that I was able to tell her that this is what we do for you. And she was quite happy to see this all coming together. Let me start off on the regional SAM side. Regional SAM side, 25 years ago, we did not generate gas. We were generating methane, which is a byproduct of the wastewater treatment process. We were burning. Whatever we didn't use, we were flaring out, we were burning. We did not have water recycling. We were applying all our solids on land here and no recycling. So that's really, even our processes were a lot more environmentally unfriendly. So what we've done over the past 25 years is change those processes and brought a lot of things that add value to what we do. First, starting with the methane gas. We shift that gas to SMUD, which produces electricity, and we reuse it. It's on site here. The second, we started the water recycling, a smaller water recycling project, late 1990s, early 2000s, and that served the Elk Grove area for median irrigation and the landscapes and the lights. And then we also entered into an agreement where we recycled 30% of our biosolids as fertilizer at a very high cost. People would ask me, why don't you do the 100% recycling? You have to balance, which is what we did, because the cost of recycling is about 8 times more than what it costs us to apply on land here. And so you have to be mindful of the customer's dollars as well while you're pursuing these environmental stewardship goals. And we also added, in terms of changing how we do internal practices, more focused on environment, applying the triple bottom line way of decision making. So that's on the regional SAM side. On the SASD side, where the mission is to collect sewage and deliver. But as anybody that's in this business know, there's going to be spills. There's going to be backups, there's going to be spills, there's never going to be zero. But anytime a spill happens, it can have an effect on the environment. So how do you deal with it? So we have, over the period of time, developed a recovery methods where we, when the spill happens, we block off, we clean, we recover all of it as much as we can and put it back in our sewer system. We apply the process, which is actually quite praised by the local regulatory agencies in terms of what we do to recover that, so that we have a minimal impact on the environment. We have LEED buildings. We're converting our fleet into electrical fleet. So like that, there are so many things that are happening as part of environmental stewardship. Now, it is a collective effort. It is not my effort. There are roughly 800 people in this organization that make these districts work, produce what they do. So I'm happy to be part of that 800, to be doing things that have happened in the past 8 years, and the past 25 years. 25 years I've been with the district, the last 8 years being the head of these 2 districts. The couple of things that I can say is our focus on value-driven decision making. We have established our core values about 5 years ago. We're still working towards using those values in how we make the decisions. So to me, I think that's an important effort that we needed to do. It was done 5-6 years ago. The other thing is how we work together between the two districts, and a lot more collaboration. There's still more work to be done. It used to be a lot more as siloed two districts. So that's we're coming together. A few years ago, we started the effort of changing this culture to be a workplace of choice culture, meaning that people have a lot of choices to go work wherever they want to go work. What we want to make the culture to be is inviting, so that people want to come here to work and stay here. It requires a change in how we work with each other and how we do things, how we make decisions. That's what we're in the midst of, and we're partway through. There's more work that needs to be done, and I truly think that's something that is, if continued, will be a good thing for both districts for a long time to come. There's a couple of different ways technology is going to play. The one is the process automation, a lot of data centric decision making. So that's one track of it. The other track of it is in terms of more the people side of it. So both the process and people side, both are getting more tech savvy, which reflects in our careers with the wastewater water industry. In the old days, our requirements were a lot less for people to come to work here. Now you have certifications that are either the CWA or the state certifications that really get you to be tech savvy before you come here. So that's a reflection of where the industry trend is. And I think that's going to continue for at least 10 more years, if not longer. And I think it's the right thing to do also for the industry that's been somewhat lagging for so long. We spent probably 50, 60, probably even 100 years to work hard to separate storm sewers and sanitary sewers. I mean, other than a few places, they're separate now. But now there's a different thinking that's set in. That is, stormwater is considered to be a source of pollution in the water bodies. Now people are looking at how do we manage them? I think there's one synergy that can happen is to bring some of it back into sanitary sewer. For example, summer months where stormwater flows are low, where the pollution is concentrated, is the same time where the sewers are running empty, where it would need to be flushed, maintained for the lack of enough flow into the system. Could you put them together where you bring the storm flows back into the sewer during certain times of the year, where you're taking the pollution off the rivers and get it through the treatment process that already exists, the community has paid for? I think that's an area that has a lot of potential in the next 5 to 10 years as people look at more on the stormwater side of it. The other side of it is, as I was touching on earlier, the resource recovery. Wastewater was thought of as a waste product. Now people are seeing a product that has a lot of resources in it, either the fertilizer, the gas, the water, especially this. Now we are under a severe drought, where this is a drought-proof supply of water. I mean, everybody has to use water in their homes. It has, if we took care of it properly, we can bring that right back and for reuse. So I see those two areas and many others that are going to be sort of focus for the next decade to come for in this industry. Well, in the old days, this industry wasn't as, shall we say, very exciting. It was a very steady industry. But the one thing people kind of started to learn, this industry is like a healthcare industry. People in the healthcare industry, people get sick, they need treatment. Same way this industry, people have to use water or use wastewater, and then it's going to be there. So it's a steady source of job protection in some ways. That's number one. Two, we're also starting to be more technologically advanced or advancing ourselves, so that actually will be more of a draw for the newer generation that's coming out of schools. So I think also together you add that with a sense of environmental stewardship, that the newer generation is a lot more focused on environmental stewardship, wanting to do right things and taking care of the environment. And places like these is where they want to come to work, so that they are doing what they thought they wanted to do, but they put that in practice here. So I can see all of those coming together as an attraction for the newer generation that want to start in the water and wastewater industry. I would say that enjoy the moment. Don't always look too far ahead, because you're missing what's passing by you. I mean, 25 years plus have passed. I started not too far from here, where we're sitting in a trailer. And I have a lot of good memories. But I also felt like the time really went fast. And if I were to do it again, I probably would slow down a little bit and enjoy each of these steps along the way. I think that would probably be a more lasting memories as opposed to what I currently have. People. I have had the pleasure of working with some of the most wonderful people in my life here. This is the longest. I've had 3 other employers before I came here to the district. Every place I went, I had fond experiences. But again, having a 25 plus year experience with the district, a lot of people that I got to know, and I missed that part of it. Obviously, having led the districts in the last 8 plus years and shepherded them through some of the tough times to where they are today, that's a satisfaction to me that I will take. And those are some things that I will miss.